Okay, guys and girls, Axial SCX10 2 transmission in the ready to run version with the steel gears. You'll have to forgive me, I was not planning on taking this video. I'm just shooting this on the fly. I don't have a tripod or anything like that, so don't flame me. I also don't do a lot of videos, so don't flame me on the editing. But I just had to show this because this is just too good not to share. I wasn't like really looking to fix this issue when I came into this today. I was simply playing around with this. I'm doing some changes on this truck and had this out and had the dust cover off and noticed how much slop there was in the spur gear. And it just was way more than I felt it should be. And this is pretty much a new truck too, a new transmission. It's only had a run or two on it. So started looking into things, and basically what I found was all the play is coming from where the bearing goes into the transmission. So where the front and rear bearings go into the transmission case was causing a ton of slop due to the bearings moving around in the case. It wasn't anything else. So what I did was, after thinking about it, I was gonna try maybe like gluing them in or using some epoxy or shoe goo or something like that, sleeve retainer. I was thinking about this, and ultimately I didn't want to do any sort of adhesive, because if the bearings need to be removed and replaced from failure or whatever, it'd be a big mess. So thinking about it, I was a technician for like almost 20 years, and a trick that I used to use all the time, and this is something if you're working on a car, say you have a bolt or something that's hard to get to, you just take a shop towel, or a paper shop towel or paper towel or whatever, and you put the nut on it, and then you take your socket and then you put it down over that, and then it will hold it. I can't do it because I'm holding this video, but or this camera there. So I thought, try that. So that's exactly what I did. I took some paper towel and I put it down over the hole, and I shoved the bearing down in over the paper towel, and it was a really nice snug fit. You know, I was just able to push it in by thumb. I actually used like this to kind of go down gently and push it the rest of the way in, a little more leverage. Put it back together, and I could not believe how much better it felt. This shaft had at that point just the right amount of play. You obviously don't want things to be nut tight. There always has to be a little give, and the back case isn't out with the bearing. But it went from, you know, moving like this to just having just the right amount of play. If the rest of the transmission case was together, I could show you that it's like that, you know, it's right and tight. I'm basically seeing the same thing with, again guys, forgive me with the video here, I'm just doing this on the fly. I'm seeing the same thing with, where are you at here? With the outputs. Look at how much slop that has. And if you, I don't know if I'll be able to see it, but what it is, if you look, it's the bearing. It's the bearing, there, that bearing's stuck in there, moving around in the housing. There, you see that? That is where all the slop is coming from. So I'm gonna do the same thing on these, and then I'll come back on and I'll try and show you the difference on that too. All right, guys, I threw this case back together. I wanted to get a little bit of a before shot before I put the paper towel shimming in. And you can see all that movement there is due to the fitment of the bearing in the housing. That's all bearing slop. You can hear it. Now, I am not saying that things, again, need to be nut tight all the way around and just, you know, no play. You obviously want end play and a little give, but this is just really excessive. And, you know, that can lead to oscillation. Look at that movement there. It's hard to see on the video, I'm sure, but I mean, it's significant. All that movement, play, and oscillations do affect a number of things. It affects wear on parts. It can even affect performance because it starts oscillating things and things don't turn smoothly. You know, if that bearing starts spinning in the housing, it's going to wear your housing out. It just all sorts of no good. So let me get the paper towel in there and I'll come back on when it's done. Okay, I paper towel in both the big output bearings for the drive shafts, and just like the spur gear shaft, the trans input shaft, if you will, I am totally blown away by what that did for the play. There's just a little bit, which is normal, which is how it should be. And it just makes things even turn smoother. I mean, it takes away all that slop. If you guys, you know, go over to your SCX10 too with a trans like this and yank it out and feel, you'll see exactly what I'm saying. I mean, you don't even hear that clunking anymore. There's just normal end play, and that's it. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about if you go rip this out and feel that spur gear in your output shafts. Guys, this is a mod that is, or a fix that is completely free. And it, you know, it would have taken me, if I wanted to just go rip the trans out and do this quick, it would have taken me 10 minutes, but I dinked around with it. Side note, for anybody wondering, these are Kirkland, oh, come on. Kirkland paper towels. They are similar, I would say, to Brawny. And they are, sorry, the light is on, but they're about 0.3 thickness. You know, you might be laughing right now, like, dude, like, who cares? It's just paper towel. But I'll tell you, I mean, it was the absolute perfect thickness for the small bearings and the large bearings. It pushed in really snug. If it was cheaper, thinner paper towel, it probably wouldn't, you know, it would probably be loose. And if it was anything like even heavier duty or thicker, like a cloth shop towel, it probably wouldn't push in. I mean, this was like perfect. Only time will tell if it will hold out. I don't see why it would not. And another nice thing is if, you know, you got a little bit of paper toweling or whatever that comes loose, it's not going to hurt a dang thing. You know, it's just paper towel, and it's not going to hurt the gears whatsoever. So, all right, so everything's reassembled here, bolted down tight. I cannot believe what a difference doing that little paper towel fix made in the smoothness and noise and just overall operation of this gearbox. Our backlash is normal. You always want to have that gear backlash, and for those of you who don't know the trick, take a piece of white like notebook paper or just a regular piece of copy paper. Paper towel would probably work. It might be a little thin, but you put that in between the gears with the motor mounting bolts loose, shove it tight, and tighten those bolts down with that strip of paper in there, and that should get your backlash pretty close. You never want those teeth like super tight. It'll just wear everything out fast. So most of you probably know that. Little trick for those of you who don't. But yeah, back to this paper towel shim trick. This before, I mean, it was slopping around. The whole gear was slopping around. I mean, check yours out. It's probably doing the same thing. Same with these output shafts for that center drive shafts. really slopping around and clunky, all that just robs smoothness and power and operation. So if that paper towel holds out, which I don't see why it would, you know, migrate out of those bearing areas, you know, that should work well. It's a super cheap, you know, easy and cheap enough deal. I mean, what is it, like a 2-cent paper towel? So, well, probably more like a dime. I don't know. Paper towels are expensive. All right, guys. Just wanted to make this for you. Good luck.